Welcome to Queensland, a state that has some of Australia's most amazing natural assets. Now, there are hundreds of places I can take you, but its marine environment is second to none. So on this episode of Travel Wild, we're going to show you our incredible marine life, cruise through the Whitsundays on a 107-year-old tour ship, and dive one of Queensland's first ever shipwrecks on the Great Barrier Reef. Queensland is in Australia's northeast and is bordered by the Coral Sea and Pacific Ocean. It's the second largest state of Australia and home to the world's largest reef system. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest living structure on our planet and one of the richest, most complex and diverse ecosystems in the world. It has an area that stretches more than 2,300 kilometres along the northeast coast of Australia. But the reef also hides many early shipwreck secrets. I was heading to the remote outer Great Barrier Reef, approximately 140 kilometres east of Cape York. It was time to drop anchor and embark on a voyage of wreck discovery. Everyone has heard of the amazing story of Captain Bligh and the Bounty, but did you know the Pandora was the ship sent to capture the mutineers? But it never made it back to England. Instead, it was found here, sunk on this remote section of the Great Barrier Reef.
A few things that you really should know before diving on the Pandora. This is actually Queensland's first shipwreck, so I mean it's highly significant. It's probably one of the most significant wrecks in Australian waters. 1791. There's a few things to remember while diving on this shipwreck. It's a permitted shipwreck, so it's protected under the Commonwealth Shipwrecks Act. We're all very, very privileged to even be here. You guys are one of the few people that have ever even dived on this site. Things to remember are very, very, very important not to touch anything. Look but don't touch, because anything that you actually do on that site could encourage further degradation of the site.
Jumping into the sparkling blue waters, today it was easy to see the dive site, but currents can be unpredictable, and the line is a crucial part of our dive plan. Ed Slaughter and Brad Duncan are maritime archaeologists who are experienced when it comes to marking out wreck sites and waste no time in executing our dive plan. Now, when we come down the line down to the wreck, where do we actually come down?
You'll come down onto the stern down here where it's tied off onto one of the larger anchors that's on the vessel. We'll come past this section, which is the stern post where the rudder was attached, and we'll move up towards the bow on the ship. We'll pass a couple of cannons here. We want to have a pretty good look in this area because there's a large area of concretion which is sort of rusted together, artefacts and other bits and pieces from the wreck. There's a couple of pretty big cannons in there. We'll get up to towards the bow where there's more anchors here, and there's one of the things that you'll really notice that's quite clear is the stove, which was used for cooking all the meals for the crew mainly.
So they're the things that have actually survived?
Well, they're the things that are evident on the surface. There's a lot of stuff underneath, like timber. There's maybe a bottom third of the ship's actually buried there, which sort of is what's so important about this wreck.
The other thing that we really need to do for the museum's management of the site is to get a really comprehensive underwater video swim through of the site, full site, and to just get a representation of what's happening on that site, because we do that as often as we can so we can work out how much sand is building up or how much is scouring around certain objects. The other thing we want to do is to get a video swim over of the baseline, which was put down in the 1980s as part of the archaeology of the site. And that's star pickets that go around every 10 metres, every 5 metres, sorry.
Like a boundary sort of thing?
Yeah, we use them as survey points across the whole site. So you take 2 or 3, well, 3 or 4 measurements from each star picket, and you can tie in the exact location of where they are in reference to those star pickets.
And is there a plaque or something there?
Yeah, there is a plaque just to the west of the stern post or the stern anchor, about 20 metres, 10 metres away. And that's actually another one of the things that, if time permitting, I mean, you can't do everything on the site, it's a fairly short bottom time, but we'd like to just clean that plaque because it gets covered in concretion and stuff and marine grade. So it has the story of Pandora, but just a little housekeeping duty. But yeah.
Do a bit of housework while we're down there.
Oh yes.
How big's the actual site?
It's about 35 to 40 metres or somewhere around there. Ed'd probably know a bit better.
Yeah, it's about 30 metres, I think. Yeah.
And is the Pandora very significant in Australian maritime history?
Part of its significance also comes at starting that first process of mapping the Australian coastline. You know, part of the reason why it couldn't get through the reef was there was no maps available for here. When they tried to plot a course through, they sent one of the ship's boats through to map the area of where it was supposed to go. But unfortunately it finished doing the mapping later at night, and a storm came up and it basically went through and over the top of the reef and sank. So it's, yeah.
So now there's a mark there saying don't go here.
Yeah, Barrier Reef.
Yeah, that's right. It's a pretty big reef. So.
I was excited to be seeing history, but I could not keep thinking what it must have been like for the crew, passengers and captives of the Pandora the night their ship went down. Back then, there was no chance of any help or any rescue. And if you were lucky enough to survive the sinking, you would still be marooned on an isolated coral cay.
Is that sand cay the one where the survivors got to?
Well, we think it might be. It's difficult to say, but they would have gone for the nearest sand cay or wherever the currents were going, the closest, the easiest one to get to. So they were basically there for 2 days before they regrouped and managed to salvage some stuff from the wreck and get into some boats.
After learning about the survivors of the Pandora and seeing the legacy of the wrecks beneath the sea, one can only imagine what it would have been like in the early days to set sail. This is only one of our numerous shipwrecks found off the coasts of Australia.
My next voyage brings me to the Whitsunday Islands. Now, there are plenty of ways that you can travel the Whitsundays, but I've decided to do something very special. We're in for a big adventure. This is exciting. We got the pirate flag flying and she's a beauty. You can just imagine this ship in the olden days sailing on the high seas. Hi guys, good, how are you? I like your boat.
Thank you very much. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
My name's Chris and this is Damo. How's it
Nice
going?
to meet you. Looks like we've got some nice weather today. She still works, right?
Still working.
I was on board the Solway Lass, a tall ship with a long history that has seen her go through both world wars. This grand vessel now sets her sails in one of the most famous cruising grounds in the world. The Whitsunday Islands are about 1,125 kilometres north of Brisbane and about 725 kilometres south of Cairns. Airlie Beach is the gateway to the 74 picturesque islands that make up this chain. The Whitsundays are continental islands that started to form over 100 million years ago, when catastrophic volcanic activity formed a mountainous region. After the last ice age, the mountains were engulfed by the rising sea level, forming Australia's largest group of offshore islands, mainly consisting of designated national parks, which include coral cays and fringing coral reefs. It is this feeling of an unspoiled paradise that lures sun lovers from every part of the world. On board the Solway Lass, we had many different nationalities, but we all shared the same vision. We wanted to explore these magical islands and have fun in the sun.
Okay, Geronimo! Some of the most pristine and remote sections of the Whitsundays is up here in the north around Hook Island. But the best thing is all the beautiful surrounding fringing reef. It's a perfect place to go for a snorkel.
Fringing reefs are reefs that fringe the mainland, or in this case, these continental islands. The diversity of fish and coral species around this northern section is higher as it lies closer to the Great Barrier Reef. Hard coral species dominate here, offering great hiding spots for the numerous fish that hug the coral bommies for protection against predators. Blue Pearl Bay is for many people the peak of the snorkelling sites around the Whitsundays. And the feeling of tropical water soothing the soul is a mermaid's dream.
It's hard in the Whitsundays. We've had a sensational day snorkelling the reefs in the northern section of the Whitsundays here. And we also had a good time just hanging out at these picture-perfect islands. It's no wonder the Whitsundays are some of the best cruising grounds in the entire world. And the best thing is, I've got another 2 days of this hard stuff to take.
There is always something wonderful about being on the water. And as a new day breaks and the sun starts to rise, today we would set the sails, and I would soon learn that these boats are not all fun and games. There are lots of heavy sails to raise.
Are you ready to find it? Aye, aye, Bison! All the way! Come on, Princess! You're about quarter of the way there! Jesus! Yeah! Ow! Put your warning.
Once the sails were set, we all felt like pirates sailing the high seas. The grand Solway Lass stood proud among the island's backdrop as we sailed down Whitsunday Island, the largest island in the Whitsunday chain. But with little wind to power the sails, we hit what was referred to as the doldrums. Fights broke out, but this was all part of the fun of being on a tall ship.
Well, she's a beautiful looking ship. How old is she?
Oh, she has had her 107th birthday.
Ooh, that's getting on, isn't it?
Yeah, she's due for another one in a couple of months, but yeah, she's still going strong after 107 years.
We're just arriving at the most famous of all the Whitsunday beaches, beautiful Whitehaven. You've probably seen it on all the postcards and in all the books, but the reason this stunning beach is so famous is because it's 100% pure white silicon. And just look at it, it's absolutely breathtaking.
At the northern end of Whitehaven Beach is Hill Inlet, a snaking river entrance. A short hike up the hill gets you to one of the best vantage points in the area.
There are a few places in the world that could even come close to looking this good. Pictures don't do this place justice, but once you get up here and can look out over the 180-degree view, you realise just how stunning this place really is.
Below lies the scene of paradise, with the white sand disappearing up into the forested mountains.
But nothing compares to being here on this soft white silicon sand. Woo-hoo!
Wallow away in the warm waters that gently crash against the shore, and you'll soon realise why people come here from all over the world. But our voyage continued, and our night anchorage would take us into Nara Inlet. Not only one of the safest anchorages in the Whitsundays, it also reflects the indigenous culture from tribes who are thought to have been around for 8,000 years before European settlement. Our final tour took us down past the islands of Daydream and Long, which are popular holiday destinations. This perfect weather was getting hard to take. The days just seemed to be getting stiller.
just been cruising through this passage, but it's about to get even better because the skipper's just spotted a mother and a calf humpback whale just over here. There's no doubt about it. The Whitsunday Islands are truly magnificent. Now, there are so many different ways that people choose to travel when they come here. But if you're like me and you love the wind in your hair and the romance of setting all those sails, then I reckon this is a pretty good way to travel. I'm on Moreton Island and this is Moreton Bay. Behind me are the Tangalooma wrecks. We're staying at the Tangalooma Resort, which is surrounded by national park. So this is a great place for some wildlife action. Queensland has many shades, but one of its unique features are the formation of the largest sand islands in the world. Fraser Island is the biggest of these sand islands, but nestled not far from Brisbane is the beautiful Moreton Island and the Tangalooma Resort. Here, as soon as you step off the ferry, you realise you're on an island where nature comes first. But behind all the nature is a great resort that offers a bit of everything for the visitor. It is an island paradise. It's hard to believe that this beautiful resort was once an old whaling station, and people came here to hunt our humpback whales that migrate up our coastline. But the good news is today they come here to see those amazing sights and experience nature. So it just goes to show us how much attitudes can really change. This place is most famous for their dolphin feed, which we'll show you a little later. But this world-famous dolphin show is only possible because of the dedication of the team behind the Tangalooma Marine Education Centre.
In the entire world, there are only 7 species of sea turtle, okay? So there's not many. Out of those 7 species, 6 of them are classified as endangered, 1 of them is threatened to endangered. About 3 of those sea turtles are critically endangered on the verge of extinction.
Here their goal is to educate people about our marine animals and the conservation of the marine environment. They believe one of the best ways to secure our future is through allowing children the opportunity to mix with nature. With nature disappearing in our world, it's our kids that will miss out. So it's important they understand the need to protect it.
I saw what they went fishing and they caught the fishes and he ate them all up.
Say hi, Kookaburra.
Hi, Kookaburra. He's not.
So you can see that one when its wings are open. It's got a blue patch at the top of the rump. That's how you can tell the males from the female. Yeah, they're about 45 centimetres long if you were to measure them from their beak to the end of their tail. Ambush predators, they like to wait nice and high up in a tree. If they see anything moving down on the ground, they swoop down and ambush their prey. They usually take it back to a perch like a log or something hard where they can actually hit their prey and kill it before they swallow it.
You were telling me that you do a number of rescues here at Tangalooma. What kind of rescues do you do?
They do vary, but one of the most frequent rescues that we do come across are birds, just like the cormorants behind us here, pelicans, turtles, and we have also been involved in a number of dolphin rescues as well.
So we have one very special rescue going tonight, don't we?
That's right, Nari's coming back.
And how do you feel about Nari?
I'm very excited to have Nari back. We've been waiting for a while now. His wound is healed up at an amazing rate, and now he's on the boat coming from SeaWorld, and he should be here in the next couple of hours.
And do you think this one will be a special one for you?
Definitely, like each dolphins are quite special to us, but to know that an animal went through so much and still survived is going to touch the hearts of many people, including myself.
After an amazing day and a beautiful sunset, tonight we would see the team in action.
One of the famous feeding dolphins was returning after being rehabilitated in SeaWorld after it had been attacked by a shark. Tonight, Nari, one of the feed's local dolphins, would be reunited with his other family members. This was a chance to see the dedication of people from SeaWorld and Tangaluma's marine education team welcoming home one of the stars of the dolphin feed.
Was it as good as you thought?
It was fantastic, Lynn. It's just like, I was worried, I really was worried that Echo and Nari would basically be a bit standoffish with each other. No, they weren't at all. As soon as Nari went in the water, Echo came straight up and nuzzled him and said, "Mate, you're back, where have you been?" You know?
It just shows in Australia when you're mates for life, right?
That's it, yeah.
Well, it's like Nari has never even left. His friends and his family have welcomed him back with open arms or open flippers. And this is one very happy dolphin. Well, Smiley, we've got the perfect day for it.
Yep, absolute ripper. Yeah, beautiful day.
So where do you suggest we start?
I'd say start here on the northern end and just go straight down to the southern end. It's pretty easy to do. It's just a nice straight line of boats, so it's pretty hard to get lost there.
How many boats have we got here?
About 14 in total, and they vary in age from the oldest ones from about the 1800s and the newest ones from the 60s.
Excellent, and plenty of life?
Oh, heaps of life, yeah. Everything from tiny little damselfish to big trevallies and queenies and a few wobbegongs underneath the sterns and the bow. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, yeah.
So we've got to have a look in all the little holes.
Yeah, all the nooks and crannies, yeah, pop your head through the portholes, yeah, have a good squeeze around.
All right, time to hit the water.
All right,
Looks too
let's do
good.
it. All right.
See you guys on the surface. It's the night after Nari's return and it's almost a full moon, so it's a beautiful night. We're all hoping that Nari will come back in for a normal dolphin feed tonight, and if he does, I'm the first person that's going to get to feed him, except for the staff. So I'm just a little bit excited right now. So it's definitely business as usual with Nari here. It's exciting, isn't it, Susan?
It's fantastic. It's great. It's just so wonderful just to have him back again. Especially him feeding with Echo. So we're really, really happy. Great.
Here he is.
Here he is. So there
Here you go, Nari.
So just nice and slowly.
Welcome back, darling. He's a hot man with that new scar, isn't he?
Sure is.
Here we go, buddy. See, he's hungry.
So he's going to have to, he's probably out there trying to hunt for himself at the moment. He will be a bit slow, and that's why we believe he's hanging with the mothers and calves. They're a lot slower than the other males. So until he recovers, he'll probably stick with them for the next couple of weeks.
See you, Nari.
What people take home from this place builds back the bridges of people's attitude to wildlife. And by seeing the enjoyment on the faces, it gives us hope that people will help turn this world around and ensure our nature becomes a valuable part of our lives. We have so many natural wonders here in Queensland, but we can't take them for granted. It's up to us to keep these places alive.